Hey folks, Rob here, and we got a project here today. This is a Glenfield Model 25, and this was made by the Marlin Firearms Company, North Haven, Connecticut, and this is will shoot 22 short, long, and long rifle. Now this rifle belongs to our good friend Harmon, and this rifle has a story behind it. This rifle belongs to one of Harmon's relatives who was a painter and was well known for painting way up high and stacking ladders on top of each other and going up to the highest points where nobody else would go. And anyway, the way Harmon explained the story to me was that in the early 70s, his relative had a 25-cent parking ticket against him. He was in the process of painting the building. The police showed up to arrest him, to take him to jail for his unpaid parking ticket. And he told him if he had to come down off that ladder, he was going to kill one of them. And they shot and killed him before he made it down off the ladder. So anyway, this sat in an attic for, I think Harmon said, about 15 years. This and another gun. And Harmon said when they found it, it was really bad shape. It was rusted. He said the bolt wouldn't even come out of it. He said it was completely rusted over. So he took it to a co-worker of his, and he stripped all the rust, got the bolt out, got it to functioning, refinished the wood and the stock. There was a crack in the stock. He refinished the wood. He reblued the rifle, cold blue, and got this rifle shooting again. Now, Harmon had this scope on it, and he said recently it got knocked over, and now he can't hit nothing with it. So, what we're going to work on today is we're going to try and figure out, why Harmon's scope is not shooting properly. So, first thing I'm going to do, I want to take the scope bases off, and we'll remount them at the proper torque. We're going to get the scope reset. And then if we can, it's really windy today, but I want to try and get us bore sighted and see if there's an issue with the scope or what the deal is with this rifle not shooting well. We'll probably go down the bore with the bore scope and check out the bore and see what the bore looks like after 15 years in an attic. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get to it in just a second. I'm going to pause you here a minute. I'll find my tools I need, and then we'll get started with this project. So, and we're going to be using our new vise that sent over to us by Goners. This is the first time I've got to use it for a gunsmithing project. I need some more light right here, and we'll work on that. But I have us a 5/32 Allen, and we're just going to loosen up this base and see if we just have a problem with the base on it, or there's a problem maybe with the scope itself. We're going to try and figure out why this rifle is not shooting where it should be. I actually thought about trying to convert it to a rail, but I don't know if that would get in the way of the ejection. There's not enough real estate really back here. It would need to set over the ejection port, so I don't know if that'll be an option or not. So we've got our rings off, and we got them loosened up. Now I'm going to loosen up our scope. We're going to take our scope rings off, and for that we're going to need a smaller size. Now I have already leveled the rifle right to left, so we're gonna try and get this so right to left, or this rifle is level. So I'm gonna use this sight base to level it. I dropped my wrench to level it this way and get us level both ways. And there we're level both ways. We'll give her just a little more of a squeeze, not enough to, so we're level front to back and side to side. Let's see, we could go. Right there. Now let's check us again this way. And we are good. So we're level both ways. So now we're going to remove our scope rings from our scope. Guys, I got a new phone. So let me know if you see any depreciable difference in quality. But let me grab those metric. And it was an H3 as usual. So we're going to remove our scope from our rings. And then we're going to get everything. I don't guess there's really any reason to remove the scope rings. We do need to loosen the rings up a little, because he already has his eye relief where it wants to be. And all we really need to do is level the scope. And it does have a little bit of damage there to the front where it was knocked over. So we're hoping it's not the scope itself. This is a Simmons 3x9 by 40 or 32. No, it's a 40. The ocular back here is really loose. So I don't know if he didn't have the lock ring tightened against it. That is loose. We'll work on that a little bit, but the ocular is really loose on it. So anyway, now that I've decided we don't really need to remove the scope rings, let's just get them loosened up and ready to torque and ready to level. We're just going to give them a quarter of a turn outwards, just enough that we can maybe rotate the scope a little bit in its rings. And we're going to remount this and torque it onto the rifle itself. And then we're going to torque our bases. We're going to level our scope, get it all level and straight. And then we're going to try to bore sight it. So stay tuned. Alright, so we are going to reattach our scope. Inspect our little bases there. Make sure we got good contact. Let's back these out just a little more. Make sure we get a good bite on that groove. See how that's moving the scope as we tighten? It's pulling it up. If you hear something walking around, it's because Lily's in here with me. Alright, I think we got us started there. So I'm going to loosen this top a little more. I don't want any flex from the scope. We know our rifle's absolutely level and straight back and forth, up and down, side to side. So let's loosen these up enough that we could, when we tighten our rings down or to our rifle, we don't get any movement there. So I'm going to go, since these are dovetail, I'm going to go about 20 foot-pounds on these. I don't want to over torque a foot-pound or a rail like that. I'd probably normally go about 25 to 30 on a regular scope base with a weaver mount. But we're just going to start tightening front to back. Get them all a little snug. So we're going to 20 inch-pounds. I think we go a little tighter. Them didn't seem to be very tight. Let's go to 25. If I can see the scale. I ain't got much light over here. Let's go 5 more pounds. Alright, that's 25 foot-pounds. They're leveled down good. So let me come around. Kind of a tight place to work. So we're going to put our bubble level across the top of our scope, and we are going to try and move our scope. May have to loosen the bases up further. It is pretty tight in there still. It moved a little bit. Just loosen them up a little more. Of course, it's got that tape-like stuff in there too, that rubber tape that's supposed to prevent it from, you know, scratching your scope. That's probably degraded some over time. Left it a little bit sticky. There we go. She's moving better now. Oop. Let's lay that down there a minute. There we go. Seemed like we had some stress on that. Alright. There is our scope perfectly level. Alright guys, we're out here. I had the Harman scope was damaged. I could not get it to bore sight at all. It just wouldn't, the elevation wouldn't go up and down like it should. So I've replaced it. I thought I had a scope more equivalent to what he had, but I've replaced it here with this T-Eagle 1:5 LPVO. This is a low power variable optic, goes up to 5 power. This is a nice little scope. I've used this in several videos in the past, and so we're going to hook him up with this one, and we have bore sighted. I bore sighted roughly. It's not perfect, and what we're going to do is we're going to take, figure out how to get that mag out, some shots down there at 25 yards, and I'm going to use my little hunt pile rest here just because it's colder than crap out here, and I didn't want to dig out and bring out the big full-size rest. That thing's pretty heavy, and you know, if it wasn't so cold, I would have brought it out and been a little more precise. But this will get us where we want to be. I'm gonna sight us in with these Winchester Super X. These are hollow point. These are 1,280 feet per second. I found that these shoot pretty good in most things. I hope it's not so windy you can't hear me, because it is windy out here today. So I hope it's not too windy that you can't hear me. So I'm gonna get us set up here and see what we can do down there. I got us a 25-yard target set up down there. I did bring my sandbags. We're gonna use our little Hunt Pro here, and I'm gonna get us, you know, pretty close to where we need to be. Take our first shot down there and see where we're hitting. think we might be shooting high. I'm not sure. We'll have to go down there and check. I think we're shooting a little bit high and a little bit left. So let's walk down there and see what we got. There's some of our shots right there. So we're just a little bit high and a little bit to the left. So let's go back and see if we can fix that. All right, we got us some more rounds loaded up there. I've made a little adjustment to our scope. So let's take a few shots at our second circle over there and see if we've made any progress. So I don't know how many rounds I shot on that first one, because I still had one in the mag. I either loaded more than 5 or didn't shoot 5. I must have pulled one, I think. Got all of them? No, let's load us up a few more. I'm going to move over to the right hand one. We'll make a slight adjustment. And see what we get. I pulled one quite badly, I think. Looked like we had a decent little group going on. Let me make a little quick adjustment and we'll be right back. I made a little bit of adjustment. We got us some more rounds loaded up there. And I'm going to move to the right hand top target. Try to do my best here. Put the magazine in. That don't help nothing. Alright, we got her pretty close. We'll go down there in a minute and take a look. I want to load us up 5 of these CCI, because this is what Harmon would like to be able to hunt with, and CCI, he has some of those, so I have a box of these. We're going to try 5. I forgot to bring his out. He gave me some of these and some brownie to see which one shot best in it. Let's try 5 of these CCI mini mag hollow points and see how they do. See if they shoot any better than the Winchester. We're going to go to the middle left row. Alright, let's go down there and take a look at what we're getting. So here's our first group right up here. Then I made some adjustments and we hit right here. I pulled one there. Third group, and here's our CCIs. So I put 3 there and 2 up here. So I don't know if it's because my hands are cold or... Let's go back and take a few more rounds of the CCI. We'll finish out that row with CCI, and then we'll try another round of the Winchester Wildcats. Alright, it's cold out here. I'm going to load us up 5 more rounds of the CCI. We're going to try 5 more rounds of it. It is really cold out here, and my fingers are going numb, and I'd say we're close enough right now that we could let Harmon finish her up. If it comes down to that, nobody shoots alike anyway, so he'll probably want to make some fine-tuning adjustments to it, or maybe try some different ammo. But we got him on paper. We got him a scope on there that he can adjust. So we're gonna go middle row, center target. Just slightly. Anyway, guys, this is a look at Harmon's rifle. We've remounted his bases. We've retorqued. We put another scope on it. We put a T-Eagle 1-5 LPVO. This one, it's a good little scope. It'd be a great little scope for squirrel hunting. You know, 5 powers is good enough. You can see up in the trees, and yet it don't over magnify to the point that you can't see your target. I'm not going to go any further with this today. Firstly, because it's freezing out here and I'm cold. We are on paper, and we're going to turn it back over to Harmon and let him figure out which ones shoot the best. We can try a few different types to it, see what does the best in it. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. We're probably getting 1.5 inch group down there with either one of these. I do think the Super X shoots slightly better, but not substantially. So anyway, guys, appreciate you watching, and until the next video, we'll see you guys later.